Hello, class. Okay, today what I want to talk about is information and power, and how those two things are very closely related. We're going to talk about it in a historical context, but we're also going to jump back like 1,000 years before that to look at a very interesting way in which information was controlled so that power could be achieved. So we'll start out by kind of going through the slides that I posted. I want to just talk about them a little bit, give a little bit more context. So the major quote right away that you see on that PowerPoint is, if you are not paying for the product, you are the product. So what that means is nothing is free in this world, and if you are getting things for free, and really quality thing for free, somebody is gaining from that exchange. Currently, right now, data is one of the biggest businesses and commodities in the world. You skip ahead a couple slides, and you see some logos from some products that you probably use. All of these companies collect your data, and then they compile that information, and they sell that information to companies. It should seem strange to you that companies like Facebook or TikTok or Snapchat or Instagram, Twitter are multi-million dollar companies, and you didn't pay for that product. How are those companies so rich if they're offering a free product? Okay, we're going to come back to this though. I want that to be in your head though, of how valuable, like in terms of money, information is. And that's not new. That's always been the case. It has just happened in different ways. Okay, so then it skips to the printing press, and I get how you might be confused here. What do the apps on my phone have to do with printing press? Now, the printing press is a machine that essentially was able to mechanically produce books. So before the printing press, if you wanted a book, what needed to happen is that somebody would have to have the book open, have blank pages and a pen, and copy every single letter by hand. So information becomes scarce because only the wealthy can afford to have books, have words, have information on a page. Information, instead of being something that was only available to the super wealthy, becomes available to all people. And the gaining of information becomes attainable to people. Okay, I'm going to stop there and jump to institutions. It might seem abrupt, but it should make sense in about a minute or two. First up, what exactly is an institution? I gave the definition on the PowerPoint that you should have read by now. But it's just an established organization or corporation that happens in a society. Those institutions end up having a lot of power, as you know firsthand from being in school all your life. The government of Saskatchewan, the Saskatoon School Board, which are institutions, have a lot of power over your lives. They dictate when you have to be in school. They dictate how long you have to be there. They dictate what types of classes you have to have. They dictate how you need to learn. They have a lot of control over your life. Now, hopefully those institutions do that in a positive way so that they're preparing you for your future and you are becoming, productive members of society or something. But institutions don't always use their power for the greater good. Power can be a very dangerous thing to have. Okay, so then we're going to make a weird jump to like 300 AD. What's happening in 300 AD is that Rome is the powerhouse of the world. But Rome had been the most powerful country for a long time. And it's hard to maintain power for a couple different reasons. For one, usually if you gain power, you expand your power out and out and out and out. But it's hard to make people who live a couple thousand kilometers away care about Rome and to have their daily lives dictated by people who live in Rome. Also, when a country has been the most powerful for a long time, many different people gain positions of power, of prominence, of importance, then themselves get a very comfortable way of life. These people get power hungry, but when they've been in power for a long time, these people are born into power and they just assume that it's their right to maintain it. You know these people who they think that it's their birthright, that they should be rich or wealthy or important or something. They think that somehow they're just better than other people for some dumb reason. Yeah, those people suck. They suck now, and they have always sucked throughout all of history. Also, when a country's been in power for that long, they can get in these like bad ruts of sloppy, power-hungry people who aren't actually making decisions that benefit the country or the empire or whatever. All they're doing is trying to make decisions that benefit themselves and their own pockets and their own way of lives. And change is hard. So, it's hard to keep power. Constantine becomes the emperor of Rome. But Constantine knew that some change needed to happen. So Constantine did something that was pretty drastic. He moved the capital of the Roman Empire, which was Rome, you know, the Roman Empire based from Rome. Everything circles around Rome. He actually moved the capital to a different city, and a city that was far away, Constantinople, which is current-day Istanbul in Turkey. It was pretty far away, so all of a sudden, the emperor, the most important person in the biggest empire in the world, lived in a different location. So if you wanted to be close to power, that guy was in a different spot. What this did was it forced change. But the biggest thing that Constantine did was he forced a major shift in a very significant institution. And that institution was religion. I'm going to have a disclaimer here. It's really important to point out that there's a huge difference in the institution of religion and spiritual practice. So what Constantine did was he made the official religion of Rome Christianity. And he says, you know, the emperor of Rome, the most powerful person in the world, actually, we're switching it up and you need to do this religion now. What Christianity as an institution had, they have infant baptism as a spiritual practice. Now what infant baptism would do at the time is that if you had a baby, would have to go to a church and baptize that baby. And what the church would do is that they would take down the name of the baby, they would take down the name of the father, they would take down the name of the mother. As a empire grows out, it's kind of hard to keep track of everybody that's in that empire. But what this infant baptism did was now, through the church, the government could take detailed records of every single person in that empire. And why this is important is that empires like to sign up people for military service and collect taxes. If the empire didn't know you existed before, you couldn't be signed up for military service, and you could probably get away with not paying your taxes. They have more thorough records of their population. So what does Constantine and Constantinople have to do with anything? Information is incredibly important if you want to have power and maintain power. And that information was harnessed into power. And Rome, under the leadership of Constantine, Rome's grasp of their empire was slipping, and through this information that Constantine was able to get, they could get a firm grip back on their power of their empire. So what does this have to do with the printing press? Since books were so expensive, only the wealthy could actually gain an education. As a result, only the wealthy could have power in a society because they were the most educated people. How do you think these powerful people felt when all of a sudden information was going to be readily available to everybody in a society? It was a threat to their power, and it was a threat to their wealth. Because as you'll see through history, people who get power sure like that power, and they try really hard to keep it. Thanks for watching. Please let me know if you have any questions. Please comment on the Google Classroom. Be engaged. Respond to other people who have comments. It really helps out when everybody is active on that page. I highly encourage it. Have a great day. Take care.